All right. Hey, everyone. Well, yeah, we kind of skipped tonight, but a few people still wanted to continue about intermittent fasting. And a few things I was thinking recently, which came up in my other courses that I thought was pretty cool, pretty interesting. So what I want to start with is the it's the wisdom and the importance of not just going to the local farmers market, the grocery stores, all of this for our food, which is a fantastic way to start. But the to me, because I do quite a bit of organic and have fun at the farmers market and all that, and I truly love it. And there's an absolute difference of like tasting the vegetables from the farmers market that pretty much still the especially the organic, little vendors, it still has the dirt on there. Like, this was just harvested and, taken out of the earth. It still has that earth on it. So this year I was doing more of that because a few things happened in my garden, and I used to have this big, beautiful garden, and it kind of got a little first it got a little upset with some critters, and then just things happened. And I said, you know what, I'm going to kind of go to the farmer's market more. So I'm still getting some good things out of it and lots of love. It's so beautiful, totally overgrown with flowers and some herbs and things. So it's not a total loss, but nothing like it's been in the past. So what I've been reading recently, and again, having within my other community and like this whole holistic, world that we're in, is it's really crazy. As you become part of your ecosystem, the ecosystem really reflects back to you. And you might think this is crazy and wacky and all, but it's really not. So as you start to integrate, it's energy, it's all energy. As you start to integrate with the outside, right exactly where you live, it knows. It's weird, but it actually knows and can feel and can sense, and you are exchanging energy. So what your body needs becomes available right outside, like right in your backyard. So back to my experiment, I decided, so I have these beautiful flowers that Cleome that just keep popping and popping and popping from last year and the year before. So every time they pop a seed, every year I get more and more. And Tulsi, I planted about 6 years ago, 5 years ago. And then I was super, super sad that, excuse me, somebody might be trying to come in. Nope. That something, I didn't order the seeds fast enough. So I had no Tulsi on order this one year. And I was really upset because in Ayurveda school, we really learned the importance of holy basil. It is so vata curing, settling. It's good for the mind, the blood, the circulation, the lungs, like you name it, Tulsi has its label on it. So I was really, really bummed up. And I remember going out there one day after things were starting to pop up in the garden. And all of a sudden I see like 20 little tiny seedlings in there. And they're all Tulsi. And then there were more, and then there were more. And then I had this whole bed, and I let it go, and I let it kind of go wild. And now I just keep getting more and more. And then I had looked around all around the areas, and there is lamb's quarter, chickweed, purslane, flower of the hour started coming up the next year. And I had been in there and cultivating, and Kevin kind of came in and he was going to help me weed. So he sprayed a little bit. Yes, he sprayed in there. But where he sprayed the next year, all of these weeds came in. And what they think and what they know is that the wisdom of weeds, when your soil is depleted somewhere and something is happening, weeds will come in to regenerate the soil. Their tap roots go way down into the earth and they pull up the better soil. And then when they decay, it starts to rebuild your soil. So they pull up the organic right out of the depths of the soil of the earth. So these weeds aren't weeds. They are filled with phytonutrients and every mineral, and each one has their own place. And some are pitta pacifying or vata or kapha. The wisdom within these weeds, they're free. and they'll keep coming back. They're going to keep showing you. If you have dandelion and all of a sudden there's more and more and more somewhere where you do kind of your work or your flowering or whatever, it kind of now understands that maybe you need to cleanse things out of the body. Maybe this is your, it's the time or things are needed in you. If there's more lamb's quarter, like was for me, and purslane and chickweed, this is all vata pacifying. Basil, the holy basil, like this is all this, it's just amazing. And as you speak to other people, they may have other different properties of weeds and things growing in their ecosystem. So for fun, there's a book and it's Blair. I think I have it up there. Oh, I do have it right there. So it's The Wild Wisdom of Weeds. You see right there by Katrina Blair. Fantastic book. She'll walk you through some things. But so within our intermittent fasting, as we are starting to like slow down in the amount of calories we're eating in a meal or the amount of food we're eating, because if we are slowing down how often we're eating, we probably can't fit the same amount of food in if this is really working for you. And you're finding that you don't need to eat as much. You feel better. You feel lighter. Your brain is working better. Your tissue feels better. You feel stronger. If all this is resonating for you, then maybe if you start to look towards all of these invasive weeds, they are so much more nutrient dense than most of the stuff, especially the stuff we're getting at the grocery store now, and not so much at the farmer's market, but even organic soil. There's a lack of minerals and vitamins and all of this in the nutrition coming directly from the soil. But like I said, the weeds go deeper. They go into the soil, they go in and they pull this nutrition up for us. So if you were to incorporate some of these weeds that are right outside, right in your area, you would actually be getting more nutrition, more vitamins, more phytonutrients, more antioxidants and minerals than you would from eating like double the amount of food. Throw it in a juice or a smoothie and you're like triple packing it. So there's different ways we can really, really assist our bodies in doing intermittent fasting. And as now we've been doing it for a few weeks, I'm hoping you're starting to see that this is really kind of a neat thing and it's kind of something that might work for you in the long run and keep going. But there's certain ways to do it properly. There's certain things that we want to do that actually increase the body's ability to aid and really take care of things. So if we are starting at a 13-hour, it has to be at least 13 hours to actually kick into autophagy, and then even longer, a little bit into that apoptosis. And that's where you really have the cell destruction and the body starts to truly repair itself and clean out that mitochondria and get in there and really, really clean house in the brain. And as we've gone through the connection. So if you can really focus on doing the 13 hours at least, and that's nothing, like just some tea and some water or coffee in the morning, like any little thing that you say, oh, I forgot to take this, or, oh, I'm just going to have a little sip. Well, you can have a sip of something, but any calories coming in, even if it's the tiniest bit, you don't think it's really going to make it anything, it's not going to harm you, but it stops the intermittent fasting. It stops that cleansing. It's just like if you were to turn a switch on and off and the light goes on and off and it's only on for, a minute or so, or it's only off. It's the same thing. It will turn that off and the body has to go back into digestion mode and it's actually looking for something. So that cleansing really does not begin until 13 hours. And as we kind of push it to 13, 14, and then get into a 16 rhythm, you kind of want to shift back to a 14, up to an 18, maybe throw in a 19. I think Laura today said she hit a 20 or a 20, 22 maybe. And this is when that metabolic flexibility comes in that really makes your body strong. It really makes it resilient and it starts kicking the crap out of all of those toxins in your body. It starts cleansing, but it knows it's got some glucose on some days, It's got some fuel. It's got, it doesn't have to tap into its own resources. And then when you are kind of pulling that plug on it, it's going to last and it's going to go into the storage and burn pure fuel, and it's going to clean house. I don't know if any of you have gotten to the point where you're actually beginning to feel that autophagy, like that, and the growth hormones. That's another super important one that does not get turned on after about 20, and then we get into our 30s, and then into the 40s, it really decreases down to almost nothing. But if we begin to really understand this intermittent fasting, or fasting for a few days, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, that's a signaling also for growth hormone to kick back in, which is that restorative. So the autophagy, apoptosis, that is cleansing house. That's pulling away from everywhere. That's using all that fat we have for energy to fuel the brain, to clean the brain at night. That's why we don't eat at night. And then once it gets to the restore, that's when the mitochondria is super, super efficient. We're starting to build that microbiome, really get those gases and all. That's what feeds the brain. That's what feeds the mitochondria. So as we're starting to really, really upgrade all of these systems, the body starts working beautifully and more efficiently for us. We are restoring rather than breaking down and aging. So ladies, you really want to hear this. This is where the return of the beauty, the collagen, all of this starts to rebuild by natural growth hormones starting to come back. So the regenerative for our bones, our joints, our muscles, like everything can start to come back into this brilliance that the body was meant to have. We just screwed it up. So that being said, if anyone has any questions, if anyone is struggling or really has some wins to share, please share it with us, because it only makes us think or push a little bit harder. Or if someone has, a story to share where maybe they should have backed off a tiny bit and they did, and they continue to have good, effects coming, or say you're feeling really sick. Don't overdo your system. Let your system clean out. Go back to just some, clean broth, some soup, some soothing things, some bone broth if you can handle it. Start to learn what the body needs, what your body needs, because we're all different. So what's working for you might be different from me to you, and in our little circle. And try to share the information with other people. It's amazing what we don't know. And if we aren't introduced to it, we'll never know it. And it's such a beautiful practice. I can't believe we're calling it a practice and it has to be a thing, because we should have just been living this forever and always. And then when we have family over or go on vacation or have some kind of a celebration, that's when it's okay to go off of it. It's okay to have the body be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing now? Because you know how to bring it right back again. And when you can bring it right back again, the body's like, we got this. We totally have this. We understand. We're just kicking back into gear. We can clean that other stuff out super easy because the mechanics are already working. So again, any questions, any concerns, anything, just shoot them out to me, shoot them out to us, to the group, and try to at least do this 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week, like on the weekends. If that's what is your kind of like, maybe eat a little bit early on Saturday rather than skipping, or you've got company over, so you're not even starting dinner till 7 or so. Give yourself a hall pass. It's okay, but understand it's so easy Sunday, Monday morning, whatever your next time is, you just pull the plug again and the body can really repair itself. But I really love I can feel that, like that autophagy, like I can feel no longer hungry, like where the pains are like, I should maybe eat. I know some of the body hacks to do it. I know to have like a little bit of, just plain green tea, some plain black coffee, a bulletproof coffee, activated charcoal. Amazing. If you start to feel hungry, you're really not hungry, check out some of the articles on activated charcoal. Activated charcoal will actually not only give you that feeling of not fullness, but almost satiation, because it goes in there and gets into the gas, and it removes the toxins. So it pulls out those toxins and eliminates them. If you were to ever have eaten too much of something, or as a child just swallow something or do something, and you get rushed to the ER, what do? They give you a ton of charcoal. It pulls those toxins out. I mean, that's the other way. It kind of comes out this way, but the activated charcoal goes into your system with all negative charges, and it attracts all of those positive charged free radicals and things that are coming, all those toxins, and it eliminates them from the body. So activated charcoal is an excellent hack as well. So find out what's working for you, what's not. Give us some information, some feedback. Let us, share with us what you're doing. And if you haven't tried it, if you haven't kind of pushed yourself or kind of checked it in and out, I really, really, really kind of encourage you to try this. I'm going to send the last couple recordings. I have this little, it's kind of like an ebook pamphlet on intermittent fasting from when I went to school and studied with another program. So all of this information, it's not necessarily all mine, but it's packed with fantastic information. So any questions, again, anything we want to kind of go over, share with each other, let's do a little bit of back and forth on this, and tell me how you're doing. Tell me if you're doing well. I know Sebastian, since she started and came back from Korea and then kind of was doing things here, getting reintegrated with family and all. Since then, since she started chatting with us about a month ago, she's lost 14 pounds. And she's like, my body knows how to do this from years ago, and I just lost it. So I don't think she'll care that I shared that, but it's the most profound, easy way to get your body like back into optimum performance, peak performance. And as the course is called Optimize Life, it all starts so easily. Back to nature, go outside, get your vitamin D, wake up in the morning, take your supplements, take your vitamin D, your A, your K, maybe your B12 or something, take your potassium, your calcium, whatever you take, whatever's good for you, and get out in the sunlight, get out there. I mean, coronavirus is still kind of out and around here and there, and people who have gotten vaccinated, not felt so great after, it's kind of wreaking havocs on our body. Those spike proteins are hanging out a little bit too long. They're only supposed to last a few hours. They're lasting months and months, and they're getting in. They're just doing something. So I encourage you to really, really take care of your body so that it doesn't have the after effects that it could possibly have. Let's stay shining bright and pretty out here. All right, ladies, I love you. I'm going to send this out to you tonight. Please, anything, just share to us. Okay. Have a great night.